Today, we talk about...
And I would just wonder if this is all worth it. But again, I feel like a lot of people think that, and you just have to like learn to let it go and just desire to be good at this so that you can be good at it. And the next thing you know, you have 8 billion viewers and listeners and supporters who just can't wait to hear what you have to say next. And that's what happened with my channel so far. So I'm very blessed and very thankful to everyone that's kind of made me feel as if my voice is special, my voice is unique, my voice is worth hearing, my voice is not a waste of time, because my whole life that's been the case. And I'm only in the past year or so starting to become comfortable with just being okay with being what's the right word here? Not a nobody, but a Martian. Speaking of which, so the name of the podcast, I've decided is going to be The Podcast. Influence being obviously very much inspired by Lil Wayne, Yamane, Weezy F baby. This dude is a Martian, and I'm only starting to realize why I was so attracted to that idea. And just this idea of, being someone no one seems to respect on the outside, until most recently. Like, I touched on this with my, starting of my career as a fully independently practicing GI specialist physician now. Like, that was maybe the first time I felt like my value in this world was real. And that was an incredible feeling to have, and it couldn't have come at a better time, because I was spiraling out of control at that time. And I'll still have those spirals every now and then, but they're very much less severe, and I can use that as a piece to remind myself that, hey, this, you deserve to feel appreciated, wanted, deserving of life, just like the person next to you. And just to go through fucking 30 years of not feeling that way, that's just, and then realizing now what it could have been like to feel heard and appreciated and not misunderstood and not feel like a misfit and all that stuff. To understand now what could have been is just such a torture sometimes, just to be like, wow, I really went through all that shit for what? So that, again, this is kind of a motivation for this as well. I mean, my whole channel has been kind of a motivation for that, is just to like enjoy the fact that, kids can hopefully see, and anybody really can hopefully see, that there's some goofball out there who chooses to be, quote, himself, and yes, that's cringy, yes, that's awkward, and yes, it's very unconventional and sometimes borderline disgusting and heinous and gross, or not relatable at all, but I'm just owning it, and I'm hoping by doing that other people can learn to own it themselves. Just nothing frustrates me more than meeting talented people who are just wusses. Like, they're just so scared of what? You're talented, fucking just go out and do shit. Like, nothing bothers me more than that sometimes. But I mean, I'm a victim of the same thing, and I didn't really understand it till I became a content creator. But now I get it, so I'm trying to help others get that too as they sit there and struggle. And I had some topics along those lines as well. And I feel like we should jump into a couple topics here, at least try and do some semblance of congruity to see if I can pull this off. But there's a few other things I wanted to address here. All right, so other goals. It'd be nice if this started to grow to a point where I could really set up a very fascinating network of people to collaborate with, learn from, educate myself, offer myself up to build something here in this amazing city, this best place on earth, filled with the most incredible people on earth, with the most incredible potential. I'd love to attract those kinds of people in the city, let alone other places in the world, to me via this medium, if not others, and then maybe one day have someone sitting across from me, willing to be here, someone I've looked forward to meeting my whole life or whatever. It's just like, this world is just filled with so many interesting people, so many influential people, so many we throw that word celebrity out there, but I think people get bogged down with the fact that when you think celebrity, you think like actor, musician, athlete, and maybe that's about it. But there's more than that, and even those people, you have to appreciate what they offer the world, and there's a reason they are a celebrity. There's some substance to them that got them to become a celebrity. So when I say, for example, as a goal that I want to be a celebrity, it's not because I want to be chased by the paparazzi everywhere or end up talked about in the blogs all day. I actually think that's corny as fuck. What I mean by being a celebrity is, if I were to become a celebrity, me personally, knowing myself and the kind of substance I respect myself to have and to be able to offer to the world, I know that setting a goal of being a celebrity would mean that if I were ever to be considered a celebrity or consider myself a celebrity, it would mean I've made it in terms of proving to the world that I warrant an opinion and I warrant a say in whatever topic or whatever field, that my opinion matters, that people are actually looking to my voice for advice or whatever. I'd love to extend that specifically to my medical my medical knowledge base and experience, and being able to provide that to the world in a way that hasn't been seen before. And I toyed with that idea over and over in other contexts, and it just wasn't something I could bring myself to do. But this is part of that process to get there, and I told myself once I got here, a lot of that stuff would change. And I'll be honest with you, it's like I said, nothing goes as planned. And part of that, a lot of it had to do with the GI boards being, of course, in the middle of the most fucking beautiful month of the year and the most beautiful city of the year, October. Worst fucking time for that exam. It consumed me. I burned out. I couldn't even study towards the end, and I don't even know how well I studied for it to begin with. I was just like in such a bad place. And work, I'd been overworked at work due to my own, short-sighted thoughts and experience in working full-time after training, because everything I've known to this point has been training, being under someone, being just under someone's fucking thumb your whole fucking life. I was always someone else's bitch up until this point, and then now I'm my own man. I have my own company. I'm working for myself. But with that comes its own responsibility. So while it's refreshing to have that experience now and to grow into that and then carry through with this whole YouTube thing, it's a lot of personal shit I have to deal with too now that I never had to deal with before, like just real world stuff, and then add on the mental component, add on the social component, and then add on my own fucking Martian quirks to begin with. It's just been kind of a disaster, to be frank with you. It's just a lot. And one of my strengths, which doubles as a weakness, is my ability to just fucking deal with it. I could totally see other people freaking out, maybe just having to hit the pause button or be like, whoa, this is just way too much. But for some reason, I just don't have that in me, and I just well, this is just what we got to do, so let's figure out how to do it, and then it just gets done. But at what expense, This is all just, self jerk off prophecy bullshit at this point. In my head, that's how it comes off. Let me know if this is enjoyable for you guys. I could always maybe do this as a separate thing where because I know I'm going to have days like this where I either have topics ready to go, or even if or either I don't have topics ready to go, or even if I did, something like this happens where I'm just not either in the mood or I don't really kind of know how to put it together to kind of execute that, so I just end up rambling, blah, blah, blah. So if you guys are okay with even just these kinds of ramble episodes, I'd be more than happy, trust me, to, just kind of let my brain just kind of do its thing. Over the past couple months, actually, mostly over the past month or so, month and a half, maybe just the past month, time is just going so fast, I don't even freaking know anymore. But especially over the past month, I remember I don't use Facebook much anymore. And just thought of 8 other tangents to go off on Facebook, but I just want to try and catch myself and keep this focused. That was my other idea with this podcast, was as I talked, I just figured, I hear people say oh man, I couldn't do a podcast or a radio show unless I had 3 or 4 other people in the room to bounce ideas off of or feel sane or whatever. But I'm literally having conversations like this with myself 20,000 hours a day. Okay, so this was another motivation for me to feel like I could do this See, now I feel like I should own this. Like earlier, I was like, oh man, I feel like a piece of shit. I don't belong here. Now all of a sudden, I'm like, holy fuck, man, let's fucking crush this shit. It's just too much, man. Sometimes just too much. Anyway, Facebook. Just over the past, I mean, I stopped really using Facebook much, and there's a long story with how much I've secluded myself from Facebook and interacting with people on Facebook and cut it down. I had at one point like the most friends of anyone on Facebook. Back in when it was only college only allowed. The early days of Facebook, and I remember they had written about me in the paper for having the most followers on our campus by like a long shot. And then some things happened, and we'll discuss it probably at some other time. But long story short, I whittled it down from like the thousands to like literally 30 something. So like I only have like 30 some odd people on Facebook, a lot of which I don't really interact with in general anyway. So I probably should continue to cut that down. I'm always looking for excuses to just cut it down.